Hey PJs, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to activate slime. This was a question that was actually brought to me by my mother. She was telling me that some of the slimes that I gave her were like completely underactivated and she was having trouble fixing them. So she wanted to see a video of how to fix the slime. So I thought that was a great idea, and it's been a while since I've done like a informative video on slime, and I thought it was a good chance to do that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going over different methods to activate slime. I'm only going to be really showing you the main one, which is just borax and water. That's like the most common one of the easiest ones, and yeah, but I hope you enjoy it and I hope you learn something. Also, I apologize for the background noise. I swear it is a curse. It was the most random time of day and one of my neighbors decided to mow their lawn, and I swear it's every time I try to film. I'm so sorry. Anyways, like I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you guys how I activate slime. This is just using the borax and water method. It's usually 1 teaspoon of borax to 1 cup of hot water, and that's how you make your mixture. Sometimes if you feel more confident like I do, I usually make the borax solution stronger than that, but please do not do that unless you are like totally confident that you can properly activate the slime, because it is kind of annoying when you activate a slime and then it turns rock hard because you added too much, which does happen, and I still do that. The amount that I'm actually adding to the slime is probably too much or more than I would recommend people add, because it's usually just a little bit over time and then you kind of just get a feel for the slime, but just add it slowly. The one thing that I want you to keep in mind is when you're activating a slime, it's all about your preference. And that's one of the beauties of slime, is it's tailor-made to you. You get to decide how much it gets activated. I personally like mine to be a bit overactivated because I like mine a bit thicker and more holdable. But if you like yours more on the runny side, by all means, keep it slightly underactivated. It is totally up to you what your slime feels like. Another thing that I want you to keep in mind is be patient with the slime. When you add your activator, which you guys can see that I'm doing that, and through the course of this you'll see several different textures being activated, just take it as slow as you need to, especially if you're not used to activating slime. Just go slow, add a little bit at a time. You may have even noticed like halfway through the first clip, I added some activator to my hands. That is just so that I can get a better feel of the slime without it like constantly sticking to me, because I know that can get quite annoying. So I do add a little bit to my hands, which you are more than welcome to do as well. I recommend also keeping in mind what kind of slime you're working with before you start activating them. Certain slimes, especially ones that have instant snow or clay in them, can be more tricky to activate because it's hard to tell where their activation level is, because like with a butter slime, it doesn't exactly stick to you because of the clay, and with instant snow slimes, they kind of clump up in a weird way anyways, so they're just kind of hard to deal with. So if you have a texture that is more tricky, I would say take it even slower, and if you really need to, even watch a tutorial on it, because it can honestly be that tricky. So I've talked about the regular borax and water method, which is the most common one, but there are people that don't like to use borax or don't have access to it. Whatever the means may be, there are many other ways to activate slime, and what I'm going to be listing are just ways that I've personally found that work. They're like cons, pros, whatever. I'm just going to be going over what I know. There's probably more out there that I'm missing, but this is just my knowledge. There are 2 more common ways that people will activate slime, and that can be with Tide or contact solution. Both of them work well. I would say just with Tide, it will probably alter the color of your slime and might make it a bit more bouncy just because of the consistency of Tide. Then we have a temporary solution, which you actually get to watch. Please don't judge my house, but you get like a fridge reveal, or freezer reveal. You're welcome. But anyways, you can store slime in the freezer or the fridge if you don't want it to like freeze, actually, so maybe the fridge is better. I don't really know. It is a temporary solution, but it will work. It will just kind of solidify your slime a little bit, as freezers and fridges do with most things, and it will obviously make it really cold, so it's kind of hard to play with. But if you legit have nothing else, just use your fridge. The next solution I have for you is to activate it using other supplies. This will change the slime's texture, so some of these solutions to activate a slime aren't exactly ideal, but if you're okay with like changing the texture or whatever, then go for it. So I have used toilet paper, Kleenex, tissues, whatever you want to call it, paper towels. They all pretty much work the exact same. You're just going to rip them up into small pieces and gradually add them to your slime until it gets to the activation that you want. It will be probably kind of clumpy at first because you're just adding like these solid pieces into slime, but over time it will dissolve, and I've noticed that it actually turns the slime usually into like a butter texture. Kind of. It's like smoother and it will kind of spread out a little bit. So, I mean, as long as you're okay with the texture changing, that's a perfectly reasonable way to activate the slime. You can also use clay, which is obviously going to turn your slime into a clay slime or a butter slime, whichever one. It just depends on how much clay you add, but you do have to be a little bit careful with that. There are certain clay textures that will actually deactivate your slime. If you want to keep it safe, Model Magic is a perfectly good one to use. I've noticed that it will kind of stiffen up my slime a little bit, so you can go for that one. And the last method that I'm going to be talking about is probably the most tricky, and that is to just let your slime sit out without the container like being shut, so it won't be airtight, because keeping a slime airtight is what keeps it from drying out. But if you just let it sit out for a bit, the top will kind of get not exactly hard. You don't want it to sit too long, but it'll kind of get just a little bit stiff. And then if you mix that into the base and then just kind of repeat the process over and over again, it will eventually activate your slime. It may turn lumpy as well because you're kind of mixing in dry slime into not dry slime, so it takes a little bit for it to dissolve. But if you are patient, kind of check on it every few hours, mix it and whatnot, it will eventually activate. But I personally do not recommend doing that because not only is it super tricky to do, you can really mess it up, and it kind of is not that great until everything in it dissolves because it's like really lumpy and stuff. But again, if you have nothing else that you can do, then by all means try it. I'm sure there are many more methods to activating slime out there, but these are just the ones that I've tried and tested, and I know that they work because I've tried them. So I hope that they work for you as well, and I hope that this really helped you guys, because I know that activating slime, it's like such a simple concept, but it can be so difficult because there are many factors that go into it. So if this helped, I'm happy for you. If you need more assistance, you're more than welcome to comment down below any questions that you have. I have my business email always linked. If you have questions, you can go check me out on Instagram and ask me there. Whatever you need to do, if I can help you, I am happy to. And of course, with that, that is the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and again, I hope it was helpful for you. Hopefully soon I'll be doing a video on how to deactivate slime, so stay tuned for that. And now I am signing off, so I'll see you guys in the next one.